Here we are, back again. We were talking regarding the Revelation. Lots more information coming up, and we understand, at least from the manuscript, the originals, and mainly from the Aramaic version. Yet, person must be in prayer and must understand the influence of Ruach HaKodesh and have Him direct your spirit in understanding it. But it's very important also pointing out the fact that there is no judgment seat in heaven for the believers coming from the dead. It was a concocted situation, never existed. The main reason why they did this because there were so many countries back near the time of the Shilishim or the apostles. Let's maintain the words as they are in Hebrew, so we always have the Torah in mind, so it doesn't deviate to other areas. The word Shilishim, equivalent of apostles, but don't use the word apostle, use the word Shilishim, because then maintains the understanding in the Torah. Or Shaliach, Shaliach is a singular for apostle. And can truly understand these because back then the countries, they were coming to their gates with the problems, and they were receiving answers, and they were returning to their countries, and they were doing what the word of the Creator Yahweh came through the teachers, and they were prospering tremendously, and those that were recorded. So it's very important understanding the factor that these Shilishim, they were involved in. And also we understand that there is no judgment seat in heaven. People are not going into heaven to judge. It is very simple. The reason why this situation was concocted, it's because they had to divert people's focuses in proclaiming the kingdom come as per design before, and they were doing it. And the situation was the countries around, they wanted the control for themselves. So then later they began to put together these Megillas that were around, and they came up with their own concocted theories to maintain the people bound in some sort of a religious heavenly throne that would take them in based upon their own works. And obviously it was made it up. The understanding is there is no judgment seat in heaven. People are not going to heaven and judge, because who are we to judge before the Creator? He judges Himself. He is very much capable of dealing with the details of His own. There is, however, a portion of the Revelation where the records of those who are in fact lost, they're going to be revised. There is a revision before destroying them forever and ever and ever in the lake of fire. There would be there a record of each person's doings and their works before the final destruction, as the angels came from heaven and they inspected the cities of the plain. For instance, Sodom and Zeboim and those countries that were very, very, very bad and evil, the angels came with the understanding of, let's make sure it is what it is. Of course, the Creator knew from heaven, but He sent a couple of angels to make sure that they were doing their job, and truly they found only Lot that was righteous. But the word righteous, we know, doesn't exist. It meant simply Lot had the justice of the Creator in himself, and he was tender and he was humble, and he did understand His presence. And this kind of clears away a lot of junk out there, because people, they think they're going to die, and then for some reason they think there is this computer up there recording their bads and then also their positives, and then at the end they would go up to heaven, they would sit in the presence of the Creator. We don't know why they would, but they think they would, And then the Creator would read in his heavenly computer, so to speak, the records. Oh, you did these many positives, these many negatives. Your positives outweigh your negatives, so I think you can go into heaven. And there is no such. It was a concocted theory in order for the people not to proclaim the kingdom come. So it never existed. So the situation is, the believers that died in Yahshua the Mashiach, and we left behind at this moment that will die in Yahshua the Mashiach, we are going to simply rest. Our souls are going to rest. The spirit link returns to the Father, where it came from, and then the body goes to the dust. And the body won't be coming from the dead anymore in this age. The body is contaminated. In fact, anytime there is the word hope, H-O-P-E, it is because people are groaning in their existing body, because people, they ache, people, they are having lots of tribulations and trials. And in fact, outside of the camp, there is the wording, for instance, the body is snaked. There is a thorn in the flesh in each believer. And Shaul himself experienced it. He said many times he had this thorn in the flesh, and it was truly bothering him greatly. And it was a normal fact of being outside of the camp, because outside of the camp is enemy's area. And then obviously the body trials. The soul also trials, but it is showing in the flesh. That's why many times Shaul, the Shaliach, said, put to death the works of the flesh. The flesh must be under the control every time. And that's the reason why the Hebrews, they trained for more than 1,000 years to put their flesh under the control. Wasn't because the Creator was some sort of a ruler up there, must do this, must do this. It's because there was a spiritual reason behind it. They were training their flesh, so then when the Savior would come, they would not use the benefits coming from the Savior from their own gain. So it is important a person to understand that these days we should be sharing as in the status of goys, making tzaddik or his justice, since we are not yet selected in the camp for further teaching in Hebrew, so the senses can be exercised. And we understand from the previous teachings, the senses are the holy names of the Creator. Each of those names, they have a specific sense, and when they go out as a group or individuals in a precise way, would be sent out by Ruach HaKodesh in a camp to form another group or to preach in a specific sense, as Shaul did. So this is what we should be doing. People outside of the camp, they are simply sharing. There is no teaching. There is only sharing what we learn from the Holy Scriptures and with each other's experiences. And then teachings are for those that are functioned. Because there is, for instance, another topic, there is the functions of the Spirit. And those are related from the Corinthians 12 and the Ephesians 4. Those are related. There is no such apostles and then prophets and then evangelists and preachers and teachers. Those were concocted. They don't exist. What does exist are those people in the camp functioned. They did receive a function from Ruach HaKodesh, and this function came in the day of Shavuot. You know, the day of that the Spirit came from high above and sat upon them, and the tongues of fire were, in a simple sense, the column of fire that was in Egypt that separated the holy people, the Hebrews. They were not holy back then, but they were in path of. And the separation of the Egyptians and the Hebrews, the column of fire came down on a house of prayer and then divided up in tongues. And then at that time, functions began to come. And only in a house of prayer, in the perimeter, and in the camp, not outside. And then goes perfectly with Yahshua taught, whatsoever Moses said for you to do, do and observe. But do not observe and do the takanot masim of the people of the law, because those caused a lot of trouble. And Yahshua was very specific, and he wanted the original plan in place. As Moses said, the perimeter should be established, and then the tabernacle, the priestly services. The only distinction in the future, they would not have the animals dam, would not use it anymore, because Yahshua came to complete. But the rest remained as it was. It never changed. These movement out there stating, oh, the law is abolished, this is absolutely demonic. It never did. The Torah is absolutely eternal. It never changes. And the countries in the time of the Shlishim, they were very, very, very active in coming to their gates, and then they would listen to them, they would return to their countries, they would do what was told, and it worked. Then they would return to the gate where they got the information from very gladly. And then there was joy in the camp. That's where the joy comes from. It's not only outside, it is simply the camp. Oh, Yahweh did it again. And there was joy in the camp. And then obviously they would be in a place where they would teach more fervently. Those people in the camp, they would be more active. They would pray. They would spend time reading the Torah and the instructions. They were very grateful for having Yahshua the Mashiach, because they would not have animals over there to do the sacrifice, and the whole ritual was completed by him. So they had more time for themselves. And then people outside of the camp, they were very, very grateful. And every time they would come back with more reports. And then from their countries, they would write these information on Megillas, and they would store them away. And then much later, we understand, obviously when Constantine, around a couple hundred years later or so, he wanted the power for himself. But the people were constantly reminding him, but we know the kingdom is coming. We have these teachings from the Creator, and always worked, and it works. And obviously Constantine got mad. He got upset because he wanted the power for himself. And then became a huge persecution during the time, and towns were burned. And lots of Megillas, they were confiscated. People were thrown in prison, executed, because he wanted the power for himself. And that's when the change from the seventh day observance went to the first day. It's not biblical. And then a person may ask, should we maintain the Shabbat holy? Absolutely. It never changed. It's in the Torah. And the situation is, many people think because for some reason, crazy and demonic reason, the Torah was abolished. And then there is no distinction on what day do you observe. And obviously it is the seventh. Because they were doing before the time of Constantine, it worked perfectly. The people were very prosperous, and the countries, they were prospering a lot. And the set apart people, they were not involving themselves in politics. They were not involving themselves with governments, but they were simply teaching them. They were simply given the government of heaven to come, and they did, and it worked. So this must be very clear, because there is a couple of situations. There is the set apart people and the goys outside of the camp. It never changed ever since the time of Moses. So it is important having this in mind, because then the scriptures, they begin to be very alive and then makes sense. The existing Bible out there is very twisted, and it is so badly twisted that people, they think that the Torah was abolished. It's absolutely demonic. The Torah is absolutely alive, and it never changed and won't change ever. But there is more information coming up, and more portions of Revelations are untwisted, and they can share more later. Talk later.